everybody, I'm back. I just posted my rant video from this morning. It wasn't so much a rant, it was just more or less me talking and venting my own frustrations about worrying myself about things that I cannot control. Or I can control, but you have no idea what people are going through right now. You don't have a clue. You do not care about one single person out there that's sending you that money. You don't care if their children are sick or homeless or without shoes on their feet. You don't care if it's 5 below zero and they're sitting in a huddled under blankets with a candle burning for heat. You don't care. Because you are a narcissist. You have no emotion. The only emotions inside of you that you know how to display are fake and phony. You are the most phony human being on the planet Earth. You don't care if those people are eating cat food out of a bag by the handfuls like potato chips. As long as you get your money. As long as you get to fulfill your needs. Which are all drug related. We all know. We're not stupid. Those people might pretend to be stupid. And some of them maybe are stupid. But we're not stupid. We all know what you're all about. You think I don't know dope heads? You think I haven't got neighbors, family members that are dope heads? You like to talk about how there's nothing in Eastern Kentucky. And you like to talk about how if you have a drug history that nobody will trust you or help you. Well, you're wrong. You've not tried to get any kind of help because you're still living in your addiction. And you love it. You love it. You love addiction. You love it. The only thing you dislike is being dope sick and not having the money on hand to go buy your dope to get you through that day. And tomorrow you're going to be on there telling another big-ass lie about why you need money. Nobody believes your BS that you need money for Thanksgiving dinner. You should have thought about that when you paid $300 and some for t-shirts. You should have thought about that when you spent $120 at Shoe Show last week. You weren't worried about that. I'm sure that nobody can. I don't care if you eat a turkey leg. I don't care. I hope you choke on your turkey leg. I hope you eat so much turkey that it oozes out of your pores. But nobody believes that that's what you want that money for. We all know what you want it for. Okay? So stop trying to play everybody. Yeah, you might have a couple of gullible, brain-dead losers out there that are so gullible that they're going to say, okay, let's send Crystal some turkey money. You don't care about fucking cooking a turkey dinner. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, too. I know Hazard Walmart. When you walk in on the lower end, there's a Subway right there on the left. Okay, I know Hazard Walmart. I've been to Hazard many a time. I can get my car and be in Hazard right now in less than 2 hours, okay? So I know Jackson, Kentucky. I've got family from over in there, okay? So you're not fooling anybody. People know about you already. People know about you, Crystal. You ain't kidding nobody. You ain't putting nothing over on nobody. Everybody knows what you are. That's the reason why Hazard Walmart knows when someone calls over there and says, Crystal's up to begging, telling everybody how hard up she's got it. Poor Crystal. They all know your name. And not because you're famous as Elvis, but because you're infamous. And I know you don't know the difference in the two words, but infamous is not a good thing. You know the term small town fame. Everybody's famous in a small town, especially when they've been around and everybody knows what they're all about. Why do you lie to those people? There's a handful of them out there that would send you the money if you showed them, if you told them, I'm going to the Candyman's house, and you know what the Candyman is as well as I do. If you said to him, I'm going over there, he got him a bottle today, and you shook it up, and you said he's got some, and I can get me 20 or 30 of them if y'all will send me the money. They'd still send it to you. So why get on their line and say you need it for turkey? Lying piece of shit. That's all you are. It's a lying piece of shit. I hope and pray the day comes when somebody does take you up on your offer to meet them at the blacktop when they waller you and you talk about how tough and badass you are. I guarantee you, if you was walking through the parking lot right now at some store and someone called out your name and said, hey, we're on the blacktop, you would take off running with your short little legs and look like a penguin with your pink hair bouncing around. And people may wonder why I'm getting frustrated about it and venting and lashing out. It's because I know people who are really suffering. You do too. You know that there are people living under bridges right now. You know that there are people in Hazard who are living on the streets. They're sleeping on park benches. They're sleeping under bridges. The homeless shelters are full. All the people around who do fundraising to make Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner for these people are taking donations, and people are filling up food baskets at the grocery store so that they could come there and get it and cook for those people. That's one meal for those homeless people and those poor people. Yet you're on there every day. Oh, you can't feed a family of 5 for $150. Well, who says you got to fix them a big turkey dinner? Fix them some hamburgers. Go to Walmart and get one of those big packs of the Great Value 10 in a pack hamburger patties and some hamburger buns. Fix you a hamburger. Stop lying to people. Face the fact that you're a dope head. You're a fucking dope head. And so's your mother. And so. But the thing about it is there's a lot of dope heads out there. There's a lot of people out there that's on dope. What do? Well, they either steal off of their grandparents or their parents, or they, when they lose their jobs because they're too high to show up for work, or they get caught stealing from the people that they work for, then they go out and they start selling whatever they can sell. They steal whatever they can steal and take it to the pawn shop. And when they run out of things to sell, they sell themselves in some capacity or another. You sell yourself on Facebook every day. You prostitute yourself on Facebook every day. You know, there are prostitutes out there. You can go and watch interviews. Like there's a show on Netflix called I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's about women in pornography, and they talk to them and they talk about all the humiliating things that they do on camera for money. And prostitutes talk about the humiliating, degrading, and this is male and female prostitutes. Physical violence and stuff that they suffer for money. And you do it. You sit right there and you let people call you names and laugh at you and talk about your dirty house, your dirty body, and you don't care because you know it's going to benefit you in the end. You're going to get some cash. Man walking along the road, and they watched him, and he was picking up beer cans off the ground. They thought that he was collecting cans. So they've stopped. They were going to give him some cans because they had some cans. And they watched him, and he was picking up the cans and shaking them. And if there was a little beer in them, he would take a drink of it. Drinking somebody else's spit beer off the dirty ground that probably been laying there for a week. Because he was an alcoholic and he was desperate. So they call him over and they give him some beer. They say, well, we'll take you to get you some beer. That's what you do. You pick up other people's nasty leftovers, and you don't care. You don't care. Get some help. Don't talk to me about not knowing that there's nothing in Eastern Kentucky. I knew somebody who was addicted to drugs. I knew somebody that was selling drugs because they were addicted, so they were selling different drugs to get their drug of choice. And when they would get their drug of choice, they would lay high for 3 or 4 days until their money ran out, and then they'd have to get out and hustle to get more. And they got clean. They've been clean for almost 11 years now. They went to college and completed their bachelor's. And now they're getting ready to go back to college to complete their master's degree. They have a good career. They've picked themselves up. They've changed their reputation. People no longer dread seeing them walk into the room because they know that they're clean. They're not there to bomb or to steal. You think people say that about you? You think if you walk into someone's room, or someone was in a doctor's office or sitting in a parking lot and they seen you coming, that they wouldn't turn and go the other way? You lie to the people out there because they're too ignorant. They think that we're all in Eastern Kentucky, that we're all living like you are, but we're not. Some of us work for a living. And you say that people around here can't make it. You're so full of shit. I've got relatives in Jackson. They both worked. The husband and wife both worked, and they put two children through college on jobs that they worked in Jackson. It frustrates me to no end to know that the people out there in the world are looking through this looking glass, through your looking glass that you're showing them, and they're seeing Eastern Kentucky through your eyes. And they believe that we're all like that. I live on a holler. I was born and raised on a holler. I'll probably die up on this holler. My dad was a coal miner. Both my grandfathers were coal miners. They didn't have nothing, but they made do with what they did have. They didn't bomb. They didn't panhandle on the streets. When times got hard, they cut back. They gave up stuff that they couldn't afford. That's what we do right now. If we have to let something go, we let it go. If we can't buy a $30 turkey, we buy a $10 turkey. Or maybe we buy bologna and bread and eat it. There's people right now going through much worse times than you will ever know. There's people out there right now that don't have a decent pair of shoes. There's people out there right now that are getting jobs in Eastern Kentucky and don't have the decent clothes to wear until they get paid so they can buy themselves some clothes. So they're going to Goodwill, and they're going to the churches and places where people are donating clothes and stuff. You're not telling me nothing about Eastern Kentucky, sister. I've been here a lot longer than you have. I'm 53 years old, and I was born in Eastern Kentucky. My grandparents were born in Eastern Kentucky. My parents were born in Eastern Kentucky. We're all from here. We're all hillbillies. But the difference is we didn't bum and beg. If we had a need, and if we could find no other way to get help or to feed ourselves, then yes, we turned to family or to some food bank or church. When times would get hard, anybody that's hungry is not going to turn down a food box from the church. And you get on there and you tell these people that this food is old and rotten and that there's cockroaches. If you got a cockroach, sister, you got it because you're too dirty to clean your house. You don't take your trash out. You leave your pop cans laying around. And you got dog shit laying around everywhere. That's what the cockroaches are after. People can placate these groups, these awareness groups that you call haters. But you know what we hate? You know what I hate? I hate having the name of the people from Eastern Kentucky dragged through the mud like we're all just backward and inbred and that we don't have a clue. I dropped out of school when I was 16. I got married and had a baby. But I went back to school later on. And I didn't have no career. I worked as a teacher's aide, made minimum wage. I worked in the kitchen of a lunchroom at a school, and I cooked. I worked in a office and answered phones and made copies and whatever they asked me to do. I worked at a double quick. I counted the gas pumps at the end of the night, rung up the money from the cash registers. I fried chicken and made pizza rolls. And then I worked as a home health care provider to the elderly, the people that you take advantage of. I'm the one that helps bath them and wipe their hiney in and fix their lunches and make sure they take their meals and make sure they take their medications and make sure that their house is clean and decent and that their clothes and their bedding is clean and decent while you're sitting there trying to take every last penny that they've got so you can get high. My mother is 77 years old, and I'll tell you one thing. She's got more sense in her little finger than you and your whole family have got in all your heads put together. She would never fall for your lies and made up fake, phony BS. I don't see how those people do either. I don't see how those people fall for you, for your lies. Do they really look at you and think that you're really hungry? Does none of them ever, do they not remember watching you go to Save-A-Lot and rack it up? And I guarantee you that most of that food that you bought is still in that refrigerator because you don't cook. You go to Taco Bell and the McDonald's and the Arby's and Little Caesars in Hazard. I know where Little Caesars is at in Hazard. I know where Applebee's is at in Hazard. It's right beside of Food City. It's right down the hill from the hospital. You're not telling me nothing. Don't tell me that all those people out there in the world are like, oh, poor Crystal, she lives in backwater. She has to walk uphill both ways with no shoes on to go to the outhouse. Give me a break. But you know what? I've come to the conclusion that if they're that dense and that dumb, let them go without. Let them send it to her. Let her get high because she got high. Let her get high. Let her go see Tyler Booth at the county fair and buy her some t-shirts. You people, she says it all the time. She's pointing it at the haters, as she calls the awareness people. But you supporters that are listening to this, because I know it's going to be shared. I know it will be. She is laughing all the way to the bank at you all. When she says you haters, and she's saying you're stupid, you're ignorant, I can't believe you bought this, I threw it out hook, line, and sinker, she's talking to you all just the same as she's talking to any of the people in the awareness groups. You all would shit and fall back in it one day if it was revealed that she really lived in a really nice home, that she drove a really nice car, and that her house was clean, and that she had money in the bank. That she's been playing you all along. I guarantee you when she ended that live today, when she was sitting there crying frustrated about how she was going to buy Thanksgiving, I guarantee you she got up, went in the kitchen, and probably had McDonald's. She probably she got in her car, drove down the street, downtown, and got her some McDonald's. So, she's got you guys hook, line, and sinker. That's for sure. She don't have nothing over on me because I've never sent her a dime. I wouldn't never send her a dime. I tell her to go down to the food bank and get her a box of food. She is just probably, with the exception, well, I would say with the exception of someone like Hitler or someone like that, but she's just the same as Hitler. She's the same as Hitler. She's the same as Jim Jones from Jonestown, who had all these people. It's where the term drinking the Kool-Aid comes from, because he convinced all these people to drink poison Kool-Aid, that they were all going to go and enter the gates of heaven with him. It's the same concept. It's brainwashing. And she's brainwashing all of you all out there to believe that she's hungry and that she has these needs that she can't, that, you know, she don't know how she's going to make ends meet. But she don't get paid. Today's the 17th. She'll get paid. Won't she get paid on the 20th? Oh, she's trying to convince everybody that they have to have Thanksgiving early. Girls, people that she's got to file for it. Why do you think she says don't put anything on the page? Because she says the haters are going to come over there and bother you. No. She doesn't want you to say that you sent her $10 or $30 or $50 because she doesn't want everybody else in the chat to know that she's already got the money, so that they'll continue to believe her lies and they'll continue to send her more. And when she gets enough for her mama and probably Ed to get what they need, plus a little something to eat, she logs out. And I gotta go, guys. I gotta go pretend to cry. I gotta go pretend my toenail fell off. I'd fall off too if I was her toenail. I'd want the hell out of there. True need. That they really would get to a point that they really needed help, and see if she would come through for you. Guarantee you she wouldn't. She would watch you starve while she went to McDonald's.